They are 56% on third down. 50, that's a record. In addition to that, they have scored 55% of the times they've had the ball. Every time they get the ball, 55% they score, and 48.8% of those are touchdowns. That's unbelievable, and it's all because of the left-handed quarterback.
You think he should win the Heisman? He's a sophomore, Lou.
I don't care. The mayor of Hillsdale, Michigan is 18 years old. It doesn't say the Heisman should be a guy who's on a great football team. It doesn't say the Heisman should be a junior or senior or on the best team. Should be the best player, and that's Tim Tebow.
And one thing about Tim Tebow, you know, we look about his running and passing, but let me tell you something also. Tim Tebow right now, passing efficiency is higher than any other quarterback that's ever won the Heisman. Any other quarterback that's won the Heisman. Now, Lou, you and I have been around. The only player that I've ever seen live and in color, Roger Staubach, is a better runner and thrower than this guy ever. I mean, quarterback single wing tight. Never seen a guy better than him, but maybe with the exception of 1963 when Roger Staubach won the Heisman with Navy.
He was a junior that year when he won the Heisman.
I think there is a clear advantage psychologically, athletically. Florida should win this game and win it big.
I totally agree with you, and here's the reason why. Spread offense. That's why the last time you saw this Michigan defense face the spread offense against Oregon, against Appalachian State, they got roasted. Now all of a sudden you're going to face a spread offense with Tim Tebow, 51 total touchdowns. Are you kidding me? He's going to run up and down the field. They're not going to stop him.
Let me ask you a question, Mark. Does it make any difference to you that Tebow is a different style runner than Monty Edwards of Appalachian State or Dennis Dixon of Oregon in the spread?
No, not at all, because he's bigger and stronger and just as fast. So he's got to be more devastating against this defense.
You know what else? Not only is he stronger and he's maybe not as quick, but the guys that happen to circle around him in motion, he hands it off to and he throws to, that kind of speed is what always has given Michigan secondary fits. Tebow's threat of running and then the threat of throwing into those seams of that Michigan defense, he's what a way to cap off the year that he's had.
Let me tell you a guy's name that's going to beat Michigan. Percy Harvin.
Yeah.
Percy Harvin is the finest, exciting football player in the nation right now. I tell you what, he's got more yardage and bigger plays than anybody in the country as a receiver and a runner.
Well, Andre Caldwell's pretty good. I think Florida will be the best football team in the bowl game this year, and that includes Ohio State and LSU. Why? Because they're so young on defense. This is like having another spring practice. It'll be a completely different football team and a different defense than what Florida's shown all year.
I thought you'd say they'd be the best team in the bowl games this bowl season because they're playing Michigan's defense.
That could be true, too.
Hey,
that could be true.
Okay, let me ask you, Tebow, your Heisman front runner?
He's the front runner, I think. I mean, I've gone back and forth with McFadden and Tebow. Tebow probably right now.
And you?
Vote's not due to the fifth.
I know, but you were leaning toward?
I put it in today.
And it was?
Tebow.
And you?
I don't vote.
But it's Tebow.
It would be Tebow and McFadden and Brennan and...
I sent mine in today. Tebow #1, Brennan #2.
Okay. Tim Tebow joins us now on the phone. Tim, by our informal straw poll here, it appears that you are the Heisman front runner. What's your reaction to all of the attention you've gotten for the Heisman Trophy candidacy?
It's an award that I've dreamed about getting opportunity to go to and watch since I was very young and watch Tommy Frazier and Danny Werfel and guys like that win it. So, it's just an honor for me to even be mentioned with it.
Tim, what do you think of the numbers that you've put up this year? Have you stopped and had a look at your stat sheet? 51 touchdowns. That's Xbox stuff.
Well, I didn't really stop during the season to look at it at all, but, after the season, me and some of the coaches looked at it, and we're pretty happy. We know we could have, done better this year, but it wasn't too bad, so we were pretty excited about it.
What, are you going to break out a jump pass against Michigan at any point?
I think we'll have one, just in case.
Tim, go ahead, Mark.
Hey, Tim, we watch you a lot, and I always say on the air that where are you running? Where's he running, Reese? And Reese always says
left.
Running left.
Are you going to start running to the right more?
We'll run wherever it's open. It doesn't matter to me. I know you always think we're running left, but to me it seems like we're running both ways. So.
Hey, Tim, it's Kirk. Going up against Michigan, a team that is playing their last game for their coach. The speed advantage that you guys have over them is pretty obvious. What are your initial thoughts on that matchup against Michigan?
Well, I think they're going to be a very physical team, a team that probably outweighs us and pretty physical. I think Also they'll be fired up, with Coach Carr, retiring and leaving, and it'll give them a little bit of edge and, reason to go out there and play their hearts out. And so, always you got to be careful when playing a team like that, and they have a reason to go out there and leave everything on the field. And so we're going to have to come with our best game and be ready to go.
Hey, Tim, how difficult is it for you to practice with that cast on your non-throwing hand, or do you just rub a little kryptonite on it, or what's the
Well, it is a little difficult, doing like the options and, different reads and stuff like that. But as far as throwing, it's not too bad.
What would you say, Tim, was your defining performance this year? What was your favorite moment?
Well, I had several of them. Beating Tennessee at the beginning of the year was kind of a good way to start it. But then the way we finished, versus Florida State, probably our biggest rival of everybody. And, having that final game was pretty memorable. What is the best thing about being Tim Tebow on campus in Gainesville? Well, I think, the best thing is having the opportunity, a platform to, influence, a lot of kids and, a lot of Gator fans, and, having that opportunity and that, ability to, maybe, influence people and put a smile on some people's faces.
Hey, Tim, it's the Florida State game. Gino Hayes made some comments leading up to it. I never heard on the back end if you guys made any contact during the game. Whatever happened with that on the field? Did he have any words for you or vice versa?
Well, he did have some words, especially at the beginning of the game. But the words slowly stopped as the game went on. And, that's about all. He's a good player, and people get fired up and say stuff. So You go back and look at the tape on the touchdown run you had when you avoided a player in the backfield. I think Gino Hayes was one of the guys chasing Tim Tebow and did not catch him.
Tim, Lou Holtz, what do you feel you have to improve upon? I mean, I watch film and I watch you practice down there and talk to you after. What do you think you need to improve on?
I think it's the things that I was working on this whole year to improve on. That's being patient and more at the earlier this year. I'd want to make a play. I'd go out there and try to make plays instead of letting things happen. I think as the year went on, I did a better job of trying to let things happen, take the check down, and not always having to make a big play. And knowing that you can throw it away or check it down, and so just being patient like that and understanding exactly what's going on and get us into the perfect play. Every play and not just some of the time. So. Well, Tim, you might have gotten the biggest compliment of all. I was getting on Emmitt Smith's case today, telling him that a quarterback was breaking all of his rushing touchdown records, and he said as long as a quarterback like you, it was okay. Well, that's a big honor. Saying that he was my favorite player when I was growing up, and something else was funny. Sean Alexander's a pretty good friend of mine. I was talking to him Friday, and I was giving him a hard time too because I think he only had 19, for Alabama. So he was tied for the SEC record until you came along. Tim, best of luck in the Capital One Bowl against Michigan. Thanks for spending time with us. Yes, sir. Thank you. Thanks for having me on. I tell you, the guys that Tebow passed for that SEC rushing touchdowns record this year, Sean Alexander that Tim mentioned, LeBrandon Toefield from LSU, and Garrison Hurst from Georgia. Those are some guys who could tote the rock pretty well, huh? The amazing thing to me, and Kirk will verify this, I was skeptical of his throwing ability. And we talked about it at the beginning of the season. I watched him last year. But to end up the season with the highest passing efficiency rating than any other quarterback that's ever won the Heisman, to me, that's a hell of a statement. But let's not forget, he's in the SEC. Think about the defenses that he went up against. Remember when Urban Meyer came to Gainesville? He can't run that offense in the SEC. He cannot run this offense in the SEC. It's too physical. The linebackers are going to hit you. The safeties are too fast. You can't do it. No one would. Wait a minute, though. But I don't know who said it. That beats up. Everybody said it. Yeah, I know. But I'm saying you get a guy once in a lifetime quarterback like this to run that can take that kind of punishment. See, he's revolutionizing this spread offense because instead of Pat White and Dennis Dixon and these guys that have tremendous quickness, this guy's doing it like RoboCop. He's running through people. He's running by people. He's throwing over top of people. I don't think we've ever seen it. It's beyond the numbers. It's not just the numbers with this guy. It's how he's doing it. Urban asked me to come up and watch him practice, and I came up here the first week, and I said, I watched Tim Tebow throw and warm up. And they, that isn't very. And he got in team, and there's something about him. He has
timing, he has peripheral vision, and he can just sense when to throw the ball. I've never seen anybody any better at it.
What's scary about it? He's a sophomore.
That's
and he's
why
a hard worker, and he's going to get better and better. That's the scary thing.
That's why he shouldn't win the Heisman. He's a sophomore.
Yeah.